Hi, just going to take you through a quick example of how SharpCloud supports you in your road mapping activity. So road mapping is notoriously complex. It requires you looking at everything from your strategic level all the way down through everything you're doing within your organization, through to, for example, the technologies that you're delivering, and also to consider the investments that you're making along the way to make sure that you're putting your investment in the right technologies or the right activities at the right time to deliver the goals that you've set. So talking in terms of goals, let's start with a look at the air transport goals that this particular organisation is trying to achieve. This really sits at the top of your roadmap. So in this case, we can see that the air transport goals include things like improving fuel efficiency, and increasing capacity or reducing delays. And what SharpCloud allows us to do is to go from that top level down through various levels in our strategic landscape. So in this case, it allows us to start thinking about what aircraft attributes, what things within the aircraft could we modify in order to deliver the air transport goals. As an example, if we can reduce engine weight, then that will help us deliver improved fuel efficiency and the increased capacity that we mentioned. So SharpCloud gives that line of sight through the levels within your roadmap. What we can do is we can unveil further levels, including new technologies, and we could carry on across other parts of the hierarchy. But what we can see now is, for example, that the reduction in engine weight is going to require us to look at a new technology around blended wing bodies. So we're able to see all the time how the various activities lead through to our strategic goals. Okay, so I've just clicked on the background to come out of that view. We'll return to the dashboard because once we've understood what we're trying to achieve, then really what it's about is building a roadmap that is going to help us achieve that in the timescales that we've set. So what we'll do is click on the roadmap option here, and what we can see is the timeline that sets out a lot of those new technologies, the various concepts that we're going to have to deliver, and shows us how we're going to achieve those through time, in this case across a sort of 20-year or 15-year roadmap. What we can see in this sort of view is not just what we're doing, but maybe what the impact is. In this case, we're able to see how it connects to some of our partner organisations. So we could be looking at how it connects to our strategic goals, but in this case, we're looking at how the various things that are on our roadmap are connected to, in this case, one of our partners, Air R&D. So if we click on Air R&D, we immediately see that for this particular organisation, they've got a stake in around £500 million worth of our investment. So either they're involved with us on it, or the activities that we're undertaking on our roadmap to the extent of £500 million worth or dollars worth are going to positively impact this organisation. So SharpCloud allows us just to take those sort of trains of thought through the data. If I click on the background, we can see that our total portfolio of spend is well in excess of 8 billion. And we can follow up with questions around other partner organisations, seeing how much they will either be participating or benefiting, or we can look at it from a different perspective, i.e. if we deliver this particular hybrid wing body, how much is it going to cost and who's going to benefit? So again, we've got all of that information within a single view. And one of the things SharpCloud really allows you to do is not just look at things on the surface, but really drill into deeper information. So if I bring hybrid wing body to the center of this radial view now, we can start to explore it from any angle. We could look at XYZ Aerospace and see what was connected to that, global aerosystems and so on, as we've seen. So we can bring items to the center to really explore that matrix of connections between everything from our goals down to our products and technologies. But all of the items or boxes in SharpCloud are also containers for richer content. So we can always drill into any of these items and find further information about, in this case, the hybrid wing body, how we're going to achieve it, what it's going to take in terms of investment, where it is in terms of in a delivery or readiness process. And we can also use videos, images, and all sorts of other documentation to really make this an understandable item or piece of information for anyone who needs to consider our roadmap. So we can click on the background to come out of this item, and we can click again on the background to zoom back out. So in short, this roadmap view is giving us a really rich way of looking at what we're doing and what its impact is. And we can filter this roadmap in multiple ways. We can obviously use the axes just to zoom in maybe on the new technologies and get a sense of how much that's going to cost us and when we're looking to deliver them. Or we could look at it through the lens of time. So what are we looking to do within this window between around 2019? We can zoom in on that time frame. Okay. But what I'll do now is I'll just return to our dashboard and we'll take a step through a couple of the other views. We've started to see the technologies that we're delivering on our roadmap, and we can also sort of take a slightly different look at how they are going to mature or how they're maturing in terms of their readiness. So what we can see as an example is that hybrid wing body, which we were looking at a little while ago, is at stage 4 of validation, and it's also on track. So we can click on track and we can see that it's a number of technologies that are currently going to plan and coming through that technology readiness funnel. So with a lot of these, we'll be looking for them to move from left to right to become proven systems that can then be deployed and used to generate revenue. So we can see our portfolio within the readiness lens or through the readiness lens or through the time lens as we were looking at a moment ago. Okay, so I'll again return to the dashboard and we'll just consider briefly the investment required to deliver our roadmap. So we've got a couple of views here. Again, I'll go to the first one and we can see how we're investing in technology, where we can see at the far right hand side, the technology is going to require the highest levels of investment right through to those that are lower in requirement. And as you can see, we can again sort of filter the view and interact with it to focus in on particular aspects of the portfolio. What we might want to do is provide some sort of dashboarding as well, some sort of summary of the financial position. So in this view, we can see not only the sort of summary in a grid form, but also a nice chart that summarizes what we're spending or investing in technologies that are at various stages in that development process. So, for example, here at stage 7, we can see we're investing over close to $1.5 billion. And if I click on that bar, we can extend to see that most of that spend is on one particular part of our capability, counter-rotating technology. So we can click on any of the bars that are shown and drill in to see how that bar is made up from the various items that we were looking at before. And as you'll expect, we can click into those items to really explore them further to make sure that from any point in our roadmap, we get full information about that particular item, technology or activity. And again, we can click on the background. Okay, so I'll just return to the dashboard this time by going to the first view in this story, just to make the point that SharpCloud allows you to create as many views as you like that are going to support your road mapping process and to then present them to your audience through a simple click button interface so that people can really think about what's interesting to them and find that information easily. Thank you.